Good afternoon, everybody. It's good to be back. Has been a bit of a brief interruption to our normally scheduled coffee chats, you might say. I used to do these daily, but the thing is I racked up such a backlog of them. Here, let me get into something a little bit closer here so you can actually see me. I may look a little bit different too, if you can see here. Let me zoom in for a second here. Usually we stay outside a little bit longer, but as you can see, today I am sporting glasses. That has nothing to do with eyesight at all. My eyes, I don't want to toot my own horn, but they're pretty good. I still see really well. I've never had a need for glasses or contacts or anything, but this year it's been like literally impacting my whole week for the last week and a half or so. The pollen count in Japan is just insane right now. As you can see, these aren't normal glasses. You can see they have sides and tops on them, and you may think it's a bit extreme to be wearing them indoor, but it's crazy how bad the pollen count is even within the house here. We've been keeping our windows closed, and apparently that's my air conditioner beeping at me, telling me that the air is supposedly now clean. Yeah, I've been trying to use the air conditioner to clean the air. I don't know if I can really believe that thing or not, if it's really doing anything. It says it's a cleaning mode, but so we get two different kinds. There's the sugi, which is the Japanese cedar tree. After World War II, a lot of the trees were lost with all the bombing and everything that happened. And there was a big effort to repopulate Japan with trees, which, is very needed at the time. But unfortunately, they chose cedar trees, and as they've grown and spread around even more, it has become a really big problem for Japanese people. It's kind of something everybody deals with this time of year. For me, it's been up and down. There's been years where my nose has been really bad, sinus pressure. I've gotten a little bit with the eyes before, but never like this before. So it's kind of making me think that it might not be the allergies this time. I did go to a good allergen. I got eye drops, I got nasal spray, I got everything. I got the morning, night medicine. So I'm covered like on every front there, and I'm still having a lot of issues. Even like a quick trip out to the car or something like that, like just like running to the car, driving somewhere with the windows down, partway through the drive, especially like my right eye, I was left on camera, but my right eye is getting really itchy, really drippy. It gets really red. Below my eyes, like I start looking like Palpatine, like like I've been dabbling into the dark side of the Force or something. But yeah, it's been really bad this last week. So I know Coffee Chat has been on a break for quite a while here, but just programming in general for all my stuff has been interrupted quite a bit this week. We went out of town this weekend. That was probably the worst of it. The day that I decided to go out of town, we went to Yuki's hometown, which is in Okayama. It's about a 2 to 3 hour drive, and my eyes were pretty itchy in the morning, but man, we drove to Okayama. It was just a nightmare. I was driving with one hand. I have these little things here. You can see it's for wiping your eye and around your eye to get it clean. It's like kind of like a wet, like alcohol soaked cotton. But yeah, it's a known problem here. Like basically this time of year, everybody, for the most part, I mean, some people are unaffected, but a lot of people aren't affected as children, but then when they get older, it does pop up. It was the same way for me. As you know, I did live in Japan a lot earlier in my life. I'm 44 now, but from 21 to 25, I was living in the Tokyo area. And for me, when I was living in Tokyo, probably the first 2 years I was living there, I had no pollen issues at all. I didn't even know it was a thing. I had no runny nose or anything, but my third year there, just suddenly the nose came really bad. It was like just sneezing like crazy, runny nose, all stuffed up, just not good. So I went to a doctor and started taking medicine, and then the next year it was kind of just not there anymore. It's been kind of the same this 5 years that I've been in Japan now, because I've been here since 2020. The first couple years were really good. I don't know if it had anything to do with Corona or, well, I mean, of course we were indoors quite a bit more, but even when I was outside, it was pretty decent. Had a kind of a bad year the year after that with as far as nose and stuff is concerned. Did start to get some itchy eyes that time. And last year we moved to a new house in this area, and it was really good last year. You know, as you can see, my view out my window here, you can see this is right in front of my house. This is literally mounted in my window, and as you can see, we have a lot of trees around us. I don't actually know what a cedar tree looks like, so I couldn't tell you if there's one in that group of trees. But yeah, it's moving here, I kind of thought that this might be a real problem, and last year it was really good. I don't think I really had any issue at all. I never went to go get allergy medicine. I was just good for the whole season. But this time around, yeah, it has been a nightmare. It really impacts my day because the medicine I take, it does make me sleepy. Of course, while I'm gaming and stuff, you know, I have to use my eyes. And I find myself, if I start itching my eye once, it just gets really bad after that, and the pollen just gets moved around. So I've been doing like the thing where you can flush your eye. It's like a suction thing you put on your eye, and it's not very pleasant. You put it on and you blink a bunch of times with it suctioned, and doing like pretty much everything under the sun to keep it in check. But it has been pretty rough this week. So we've just kind of had a few things in a row. You know, last week it was all doing taxes, and we did the taxes. We did a bunch of interviewing and stuff last week, because I am in the process of talking to a different company here. But then, yeah, after that, the allergies kicked in. We went on our weekend trip back to her hometown. The first day was horrible. The second day in Okayama was actually totally fine at all. There was no problem. So seems like that area is pretty good when it comes to it. You know, I am noticing a little bit of slowdown on my Japan cam recently. I'm not sure. I haven't been able to nail down what it is, but it has been a little bit jerky from time to time when you see cars going by and stuff. So I'm gonna have to try to figure that out, because that's kind of annoying. Yeah, the other feed is fine. It's something from my PC to the iPad, I think. So yeah, but yeah, like I said, we've been kind of on a break. We did the weekend trip. Did a little bit of streaming when I got back. Did about, I think, like a 6-hour WoW stream the other night, which was a lot of fun. And got further in our classic character. I think my classic character is about up to 17 now, which, you know, in classic standards, that does take a while to get that far. Been doing a lot of trade skills and things like that. But yeah, with this week with all the allergy stuff, and then one thing that popped onto my radar kind of suddenly was the Assassin's Creed Shadows reviews that started dropping. I've been pretty iffy of Assassin's Creed Shadows this time, which is not usually normal for me. Just probably give you a little bit of my history with the game. So, as you know, I am an ex-Ubisoft employee, Ubisoft Osaka. I did not have anything to do at all with the production of Assassin's Creed Shadows. Maybe I should have. I don't know. I do think that maybe they should have involved our studio a little bit more. As far as I know, for Ubisoft Osaka, rest in peace. They closed down a couple months ago now. Ubisoft Osaka, the only involvement we had was, I believe, 2 people, possibly 3, that were doing a little bit of concept art. And I can't really speak to the quality of that. I saw a tiny bit of it while I was working there in a couple meetings, but because it wasn't the project that I was on Xdefiant, so I didn't really have anything to do with that. I saw it, the concept stuff that I saw was very just, villagers, haircuts, and, just kind of your standard concepting stuff. But as far as I know, that's all we were really involved. After I left Ubisoft Osaka, it would have been about probably close to 3 years, no, probably 2 years ago or so now. It's possible that they got a little bit more involved, but from everything I've heard they were not involved, aside from those couple people. So very minimal input from Ubisoft Osaka. That made me a little bit worried, considering that, you know, Assassin's Creed Shadows is a game set in Japan. And, you know, it's been a long time coming. You know, I'm a huge fan of the Assassin's Creed franchise. I've been playing all the games since the very first one. I was there for the very first one, and to me, it just struck a big chord with me because I'm such a fan of history in general. I like a lot of historical movies. I watch a lot of documentaries. I read a lot of history books. It's been a while. I haven't been into it recently, but about 10 years ago or so, my bookshelf was pretty lined with history books from all different time periods. And for me, it's just been kind of like virtual tourism. It's like, what are they going to do next? Like which era or you know, which empire are we going to explore? And from the beginning, you know, I was really hoping that they'd do Japan, because it just seems like such a obvious fit for the Assassins, you know, Assassins theme. And I was kind of surprised that it took them so long to get there. Like, you know, there's been like a lot of like fan concept art and stuff like that has been around for quite a while on what that stuff might look like, but they never really pulled the trigger. And then Ghost of Tsushima came out and kind of knocked it out of the park. A very artistic game. I still need to finish it. I've probably played through about half of it or so. I think I'm just gonna restart it though, and hopefully play it on the upgraded PS5 version. But everything I played of that game, it's kind of everything I wanted in an Assassin's Creed Japan game. So the itch was definitely scratched for me, and it started having even a person that's as big a fan of the franchise as me kind of questioning if there really was a need for Assassin's Creed, which is now Shadows, but Assassin's Creed Japan basically, because I felt like, you know, they did it so well there. What else is there really to do? And, you know, I do think that they found a different niche. You know, like there were ninja elements in the part that I played of Ghost of Tsushima, but here it does seem like it is split half and half, or depending on the reviews that I've watched, maybe not so half and half, more on the ninja side than the samurai side. But Assassin's Creed just in general, I think was kind of in a little bit of a strange place, because you know, I as I said, I've been a huge fan of the games, and I've just played them in order. I played all of the DLC, everything, all the way up until Assassin's Creed Odyssey. And Assassin's Creed Odyssey is one that's where my progression through the series has stopped. I was really excited to start Odyssey. Also a little bit scared to start Odyssey because I already kind of felt it creeping in with Origins, but I got here in 2020 during the pandemic, and the first 3 months that I was here in country, Ubisoft was working on my visa, so I was in a Ubisoft apartment, and I had nothing but free time for 3 months because I wasn't able to work yet without the visa. And the way I spent that time was I started and 100%ed, aside from one quest that got bugged, I 100%ed the whole map for Assassin's Creed Origins. And that is because, you know, the world of Assassin's Creed is probably the bigger star for me than the actual like story, because I just kind of wanted to live in that world and see the NPCs going about their daily lives. And, you know, obviously it's not 100% accurate, but, you know, Ubisoft's take on what it might have been like to live in ancient Egypt. And yeah, it was a cool, exciting new turn for the franchise. It was very different though, because, you know, the whole combat system and everything was kind of uprooted. The game before that was Syndicate, which was very traditional as far as like combat and stuff was. And tell you the truth, I was happy with the way things are. I know some people were kind of getting annoyed that there was less stealth later on in when it got to around Syndicate or so, but I was actually pretty excited playing Syndicate. I enjoyed Syndicate. The double protagonists, they were kind of just like copies of themselves. There wasn't really much to differentiate them, which was a little weird. I'm not sure what the canon ending of that game is, because depending on who you're playing, I think it changes a little bit. But yeah, I enjoyed that. Origins was a big change as far as combat. A lot of like role-playing systems were brought into it. It took a little while to adjust to it, and I didn't feel a lot like Assassin's Creed, but as I said, like the main star for Assassin's Creed has always been the world for me. So I still really enjoyed it, and I got really into it. I spent a good part of, I would say, pretty close to 3 months to clear that whole game, and I wasn't trying to hurry through it or anything like that, but I did go through it very thoroughly. And yeah, when Odyssey was up next, I was excited to get in, but I was also kind of daunted because I'd already heard that Odyssey is bigger than Origins is, and I just couldn't really imagine how you could go bigger than Origins. It was already such a huge map, and it took so long to get through, but went into it with a lot of excitement, and it was a lot of fun. I can't say that I've seen too much of the story, but I have a save file where I played as... I picked Alexios on that one. I don't know, I just usually like to play male protagonists because I think the armor looks cooler on him. I'm a dude myself, so I kind of want to play as a dude, but that's just my own personal preference. From everything I've heard, I believe, what was her name? Cassandra? Cassandra was the better choice as far as like how they were acted, and I think that is the canon protagonist for Odyssey is Cassandra. So I went the opposite way on that and chose Alexios, but I got really far into it. I can't say exactly what my save file would have, but if I had to estimate, I'd say I probably put a good 80, possibly even 100 hours into Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and I was basically just trying to clear off the whole map, all the side quests, climb all the towers, go in all the caves, get all the gear. I did go through like the whole, they have like that system kind of similar to the Shadows of War system, where you have people that come and try to track you down, and you also have bounties that you have to track down, all the cultists and stuff. I totally finished all that stuff. I got some type of crazy fiery horse or something for completing all that. So I was pretty kitted out, and I was kind of blowing through encounters and stuff, but looking at the map, it was just, I was only a small fraction. Like, I have to be like probably like about 30% through the map. The story, probably about the same, maybe about 20-30% through the story, and I was already 100 hours in, and it just got to a point where it was a little overwhelming for me. I never like made a decision to stop playing it. I did always want to get back to it, but I never really did. A couple times I did install it and try to pick up where I left off, but it was a little bit hard to get back into after you've forgotten it. And then, yeah, Valhalla came out, and Valhalla was apparently even bigger than Odyssey, so they just kept on getting bigger and bigger. So that's one thing, I was a little bit down on the franchise and just how big and out of control the worlds are getting. Although I really still, I'm really interested in the Viking stuff. I want to see what they did with England and France, and there we go again. The monorail is definitely jerking along there. So I don't know what's up with my connection the last couple days, but for now we've got we just think of it as kind of like we're in the Matrix or something. We have a little bit of a glitch in the Matrix with the monorails jumping around. Or we can just come in the studio here and check out my cool glasses again. Yeah, they are a little bit weird for wearing in public, but yeah, the franchise has just been, a little bit on a different path. I do think eventually I will get to Valhalla someday, but I really do. I want to finish off Odyssey before I'm kind of a completionist in that way. But yeah, so I have not played Valhalla at all. I have it, I just haven't played it. Mirage came out, and Mirage was apparently a step probably in a direction closer to Assassin's Creed Shadows, and kind of like a smaller, more faithful recreation of older Assassin's Creed games, but with some new systems. So that sounded really exciting, but you know, same thing. Completionist, I kind of want to finish Odyssey first. So I've been kind of slowly drifting away from the franchise. I did get involved with the franchise a bit, which, you know, I can bring up here to some extent. So I never worked on an actual Assassin's Creed title. I worked on Xdefiant, which is, well, it's kind of right where, here, there you can see it there. Xdefiant here. I worked on Xdefiant as a senior lead artist for Ubisoft Osaka. That was a first-person shooter game, but it's a first-person shooter that is basically Smash Brothers of Ubisoft. Any type of Ubisoft franchise will show up and they'll shoot it out. So this is like a Division map that I was doing some art direction on. We've got this, but then see down here, so we did pitch a Assassin's Creed Odyssey map. We had the choice of which franchise we wanted to try to pitch for. There was some talk of Blood Dragon. Far Cry Blood Dragon was one that we were thinking about trying to pitch, but we ended up wanting to go for the Assassin's Creed pitch. A San Francisco team was also doing an Assassin's Creed pitch. They were doing an Assassin's Creed Valhalla pitch, while we just wanted to do Odyssey. So we came up with about, I think I might have it in here. We had a few different maps that we proposed, and then I did my pitchman thing. Yeah, these ones here. So it basically pitched what a map might look like, what the different routes and stuff within that map would be. Yeah, these were some of the declined ones here. Oh, it's not working the way I thought. Control mouse doesn't do what I thought it did. Mouse back down here. This is a Watch Dogs map that I directed. Yeah, so this is the one that was successful, the Mykonos map for Xdefiant, and this was a full remake. We, of course, looked at the game for Assassin's Creed Odyssey and wanted it to represent what Mykonos represented in that game, but we had to 100% remake it. We couldn't just take those assets and use them. We had to make it from the ground up, gray box, and then we looked at old assets and made new versions of those assets and a lot of stuff like that. But see, these were some of the declined ones. This is the Acropolis map that we were going to do. And then we had this ship graveyard that was a pretty cool idea too. It would have been a map where you're kind of running through the water a little bit, because the Assassin's Creed Odyssey, one of the cool things was like the waves that they had, and like the way the water looked, and just that whole feeling of being in Greece was really cool. But we also found that Mykonos really was a good town for that. So that's what we pitched. That's what we ended up going with. And that's what we ended up making. And these are down here. These are, oh no, I'm going to go up here, actually. Here, let me zoom up a little bit faster. These are not finished shots. This is when it was still partway through, but this is what it was looking like when I left the project. So we did get to work on Assassin's Creed, and that was like one of my career goals when I entered the industry. The very first one was to work on Call of Duty, which luckily I quickly checked off because I was picked up by Activision to work on Call of Duty Ghosts. So I made a few of those, but the other one was I wanted to work on Assassin's Creed because I had played it so much. So I got to work on it, and that was amazing. I got to direct the level for this. I wasn't hands-on in game creating stuff, but I was handling all the direction for it. Talks with design, figuring out how we were going to solve certain things, because it's taking a third-person game with a lot of climbing and turning it into a first-person shooter. It was not an easy thing to do. This is how we would track different pieces of art and how far along they were and what the progress was, and trying to figure out how to resolve some of the issues. Like there was a lot of we needed to wall off the player because their game was an open world game. We were making a closed world map, so we had to figure out clever ways to kind of block things off, how to give cover where the cover needed to be to make a shooter fun. So we had to get really creative. It was a lot of fun, but it is, it's one of those things when you get to work on a franchise that you like, you kind of, I don't know, you switch into a different mode with it. Like, Call of Duty was the same way with me. It's like looking at Call of Duty became work, even when I didn't want it to be. I would start pulling it apart in my head and start trying to think about how things could be done different, how things were done, like trying to figure it out, if it wasn't something that I worked on. And it got to be the same with Assassin's Creed a little bit when I tried to go back to Assassin's Creed Odyssey. So I was kind of, after leaving Ubisoft a couple years ago, I was kind of not down on the franchise, but the franchise had just gotten a little too big for my liking. The games took too long to complete, and I didn't really have time to do it, and also just kind of that work brain thing kicking in. It wasn't the escape that it used to be. So I've kind of slowly drifted away. I've missed Valhalla and I've missed Mirage, and it looked like I was gonna miss Assassin's Creed Shadows as well, because there's been a lot of stuff going on with that, as far as a lot of bad marketing is how I would sum it up the best. A lot of the stuff was kind of presented in a way that didn't really look great on the developers, because obviously the developers aren't always going to get things right. There's going to be mistakes. There are things that you have to take a lot more care with, though, and it looks like I don't have all the details, but I have seen some footage of some of the stuff that you can do in Assassin's Creed Shadows, and it is a little much, in my opinion. I think they were earlier builds of the game, so at this point here, if you're watching this video as a coffee chat on YouTube, at this point here I have the game installed, but I have not played it yet. So I've never played Assassin's Creed Shadows. I did not work on Assassin's Creed Shadows at all. I was just at a studio that had a little bit of concept art put into it. But I think I will be the judge, and not that anybody cares what I think, but as I play it, I think I will look at it and kind of judge it on what I'm seeing, and see if Japan was done justice with it. I do think early builds that I saw, they looked a little bit rough. The AI looked pretty off. Things looks kind of a downgrade across the board for graphically, just in like asset count and quality of a lot of the assets. But then like some of these later trailers, like a lot of that has been cleaned up. But I still was probably not going to be playing it day one. I probably wasn't going to. I was going to put it in line with all the other Assassin's Creed games of, okay, well, after I finish Valhalla or Odyssey, Valhalla, and Mirage, maybe eventually I'll get to Assassin's Creed Shadows. But then the other day, the reviews started coming in, and despite all the controversy that's been going on with it and all the bad buzz that it's been getting, I think later on, it's still too early, but later on I'll comment a little bit more on if I think that's deserved or not, because I'm still not really sure. Some things I've seen have been kind of stupid mistakes, I think, and in hindsight, it's really easy to say that things were done wrong, but you got to remember that games are being made with teams that span different countries, span different languages. Different departments are in charge of different things, and sometimes different departments, they go off and do stupid crap, and like the developers aren't specifically involved in it. And then other times it's the opposite, where like maybe some designers make some really dumb choices that are not very culturally sensitive, and they probably should have done their homework a little bit more. But mistakes are bound to happen. It's easy to call them out after they happen, but it has been causing kind of a big kerfuffle, shall we say, in Japan here. Let me turn this down a little bit here. Let me turn this up there, and hopefully this doesn't change your guys' music audio. It's a little loud on my side. I have my sound levels a little bit different than I normally do, because I was playing some different stuff last week. But yeah, so it has been causing some trouble. Been making some headlines. It's been going around on YouTube quite a bit here. I wanted to share a little bit. I haven't watched this whole video yet. I saw a reaction video. I watched a couple minutes of a reaction video to this same one. A guy named Shohei Kondo. He does a lot of reaction stuff for Assassin's Creed. He's been really unhappy with the way the game has been represented in Japan here. He's been, you know, I feel sorry for the guy because I think he's been taking a lot of flack from people in the comments, and you know, people can be really, really. Yeah, hey, how's it going, Grand Whisper TV? Nice to see you, man. He's been, you know, taken a lot of flack from people in the comments, and you know, even a smaller channel like mine, his channel is way bigger than mine is, but I can only imagine what his comment section like. It's probably a really depressing thing to look at, just because the way people are, you know, the mean things people type for no reason, and I think he's been kind of letting that stuff get to him a little too much. He does seem to be pretty agitated about the whole situation, which, you know, there is some stuff I think to be angry about, so I do feel him on that one. But you know, without playing it myself, I can't really make a total you know, assessment of what my opinion is. Kind of want to have all the stuff in front of me. He did react to this video that I watched a couple minutes of. I'll play it here. This is like about a 6-minute video, so I've seen about half of this video with him reacting, but this is the raw video. It's just translated, so let's turn down the music even a little more and let this guy talk here. Let me get full screen on this. So it's going to be in Japanese, but this person, their name is Pattis Dessing. They did a translation. The little bit I saw, it does look like to be translated correctly, so it does seem like it's a good translation, so thank you to them for doing that. But yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know what's going on with this game before we jump into it, because we are going to be jumping into it today. I do have it installed on the PS5. I've got the American version of it, so like the non-censored version. That's another whole thing. In Japan, because of all the amputations and stuff, this game, it is a step up as far as violence goes in Assassin's Creed games. I was a little shocked at how graphic it is. It just seems like you're lopping off body parts, heads, like everything, which, you know, the Sengoku period in Japan very well could have been the case. You know, a lot of that did go on. Some of it, you know, just without playing the game, there are some things in the game that seem a little bit off to me. Just one big thing for me, being a foreigner living in Japan here, and knowing how Japanese society is and how easy it is to kind of step out of line and make yourself kind of like a target for, you know, not going along. You need to be very respectful of the culture here, and if you're not, people will call you out, as they should, you know. And some of the stuff that I saw happening in the videos of Assassin's Creed Shadows, especially with Yasuke, you know, who's an African-American samurai who is really from history, and you know, there are a lot is unknown about him still. It's not like there's conflicting reports about to what level he rose, but a lot of the reports do say he was an actual samurai. You know, he's taken, I think it was Nobunaga that took favor to him, and he is a real person from history, so that part's fine. But the clips that I saw, and part of this is probably just because it's an open world game and players can do whatever they want, but it was just a lot of videos of Yasuke going around and just swatting down peasants with his sword and with his club, and like literally like swinging his club like a baseball bat, and like a peasant woman's head would just fly across the village. And it's like, at that point, like, I don't know if that was just an early build or what, but like I do think that like you need to automatically fail the player if they do something like that. Like, it's just, even in GTA, if you, well, maybe not GTA. I think GTA does let you shoot whoever you want, but at least in older Assassin's Creed games, if you start killing innocents, I think it's like one or two or something. Like if you can accidentally trample somebody, maybe with your horse, but like if you deliberately go out of your way to start stabbing civilians and stuff, they will fail you. They will give you a fail state, and you're not going to pass the mission. And I think that's what needed to happen. Maybe that's been implemented now, so I'm curious to see if that's not the case. But I do know that just being a foreigner, like if I do something wrong, as in like, maybe I don't put my chopsticks in the right spot when I'm done eating rice or something like that, because some Americans, they do make the big mistake of here's the rice, I need a place to put my chopsticks, boom, and they put them right into the rice. And the rice, if you don't know, the chopsticks going stuck in the rice, that's for the dead, basically. It's people that have passed on, so it's not something you want to do in Japan. But I can only imagine that the Sengoku period was probably a lot worse, as far as if you step out of line, you're kind of going to be in a lot of trouble. So I don't know how realistic the whole Yasuke running around batting off the heads of peasants would have gone just as a foreigner. Even if he was Japanese, probably not going to be very... oh, what's up, sad boy? Nice to see you. It's been a while. I like your... What is that? Is that like a dancing hamster or something? But yeah, so I do think that, like, the preview videos that I saw in the footage, like, I hope they've toned it down a little bit and at least made like a fail state if the player starts going off rails, because just as a foreigner in Japan, like, it doesn't matter what area you're living in, you're not going to get away with that. So let's hope that they did. But this did come up today, so let's take a look at this together. This is Japanese Parliament, so it's gotten pretty high up here. Let me turn this on. I'll kill the music for a second just for this while we're watching this. This will be subtitled here.
朝栗問題ということについてお伺いしたいんですが、
Yeah, so I do think it's funny, like they've got an abbreviation already for Assassin's Creed, which means that I don't think this is the first time that they talk. He basically said, so when it comes to like the Assassin's Creed problem, that's what he's saying there.
明日3月20日にですね、発売予定のフランスの UBI ソフトの株式会社制作の
That's another thing that it took me a long time to get used to living in Japan, working for Ubisoft. I've always called it Ubisoft, and I don't know if I'm just wrong on that, but in Japan we call it UBI Soft. So it's they read it UBI Soft at the end. So
ゲームソフトのアサシンクリードシャドウズにですね、ついてなんですけど、海外で先行プレイの動画が YouTube でアップされておりまして、それを拝見いたしますと、板手氷津シュラインと実名で私の兵庫県の姫路市の入間の国奏者板手氷津神社が登場します。
Yeah, so this Hyogo area is not too far from where I am. It's probably about like an hour drive or so. Yuki's brother lives in Hyogo, so we go to Kobe to pick him up. I haven't been to that temple that he's talking about, but I was kind of surprised that they're using actual real life temple names and stuff. I mean, again, this is before I'm actually playing the game. We're going to get to playing the game in probably about 30 minutes or here. So here, after we finish coffee talk, I'm going to jump right in game and we're going to start our playthrough of that. But just on first thought, as a game developer, probably don't use actual temple names. Probably not a good idea. I understand you want to be historically accurate with Assassin's Creed, and that's like kind of like the part that's hard for developers, is the fact that it's like you need to be historically accurate and try to make things as close as possible, or you will get called out. And this game did mess up a lot of the stuff. They had if I remember right, the articles, they had some Chinese architecture that they were using that didn't belong in Japan. Some of the more religious type items and stuff, and the gates were placed in areas where they wouldn't be placed naturally. Some of the characters didn't really look Japanese, which was kind of an art problem there. just there was like they had people online like doing lots of crazy stuff, like measuring how far the back the hair was shaved and stuff like that, and saying that it was more of like a Chinese look. But yeah, like I said, I want to get into the game and actually see the final product before I'm too judgmental on that stuff. Especially because the Japanese people don't play about their shit. Yeah, Sad Boy in the chat is just chiming in on the fact that they don't play about their shit here. I mean, he's very right. As you can see in Parliament here, they're getting pissed off. I actually went to a store today. I got the game digitally, so I already have it and it's installed. But just for the hell of it, I checked and to see if they were selling it. And the biggest electronics store did not have any Assassin's Creed Shadows at all. So I'm not sure if that's a something they did on purpose because of this issue that's going on, or they just didn't think it was important enough to put out. I know it is mainly being distributed digitally, but usually at least there would be a game card for it, and I didn't see anything at all. So let's get back to this one here.
ゲームの中でですね、主人公の侍は刀を振り回して拝殿内で太鼓や神教祭壇を粉砕しまして、そして境内にいる向こうの民や神職とおもしき人物などを切りつけ弓を射ったりするような乱暴狼藉ができるようになっています。
Sorry, my head was covering up a little bit of that, but basically he's saying that the protagonist is running around the streets and destroying a lot of artifacts and things like that. They didn't mention that it was Yasuke that is, for me that's what stood out more, because like I don't know, like obviously there was a lot of violence in that period, but if you're gonna give the player complete control in an open world game, the player is going to do what the player is going to do. But I do think that there are certain things that, like, when it comes to religious boundaries and things that would offend people, that are living, you do need to take care as a developer to make sure that certain things can't be trampled and can't be broken. When you do make you have a choice to make an item destructible or not. Performance wise, it's better to make everything non-destructible because the game performs a lot better when they're just static objects. So that's good for performance. But so there was a thought, and my guess as a developer was because in the videos and I think they might show them here. Let's see.
私はこの話を聞いてですね、ちょっと地元の神社でもありますので、直接
See if they show a little of
宮
what
司
I'm
さんに
talking
お
about.
話を伺いました。当該ゲーム会社からは神社に対しまして名称の使用許可などの連絡は一切なかったということであります。
Yeah, I did kind of think that this part was weird, and you know what? Like, just for this view here, let me move my. I want to move my head a little bit here, so I'm not in the way of you guys here. Let me grab myself. I'm doing a little surgery on my OBS layer here, just for this. We'll move it back later. So here, let me go back a minute. So you can see.
当該ゲーム会社からは神社に対しまして名称の使用許可などの連絡は一切なかったということであります。他にも奈良の東大寺などの寺社や古墳などのいわば具体的な映像とか肖像がですね無許可で使用されております。本日はです。
So yeah, this is something that, like, if you start digging down this hole, it's gonna be very deep. People a lot of times like don't understand how chaotic game development is and how slapdash and just like, hey, we need a thing, tell that guy to go do the thing. And it's so easy for stuff like this to happen. And there are systems in place to try to catch these type of mistakes. Legal is one of them. Usually legal is involved in all sorts of things. If you put a shrine in a game and then you're going to name it with a real shrine's name, it's probably best as an artist to reach out to legal and ask, is it okay if I put this shrine in the game? That's, I think, where the responsibility on the artist is. I don't know if that ever happened. What he's talking about of like the company never reached out to ask permission from the shrines. That's a whole nother level of thing that, like, depending on the country, the rules are different. Like, this is the same franchise that lets you like literally beat up the Pope in one of the, Assassin's Creed 2, you end up like beating up a Pope at the end of the game. Like we've had a lot of stuff in America. They take a lot of liberties, and it is supposed to be a fantasy game in a lot of situation in a historical setting. Obviously you're best buddies with Da Vinci, and he's there helping you do assassinations and stuff like that. So we're not exactly like making things historically accurate. It's a historical setting, but there's going to be misses, and I've never heard that any games I've worked on have reached out to directly to places to ask like if they're allowed to be in there. Usually the automatic answer is no, they're not. They're not going to let us use that exact place, so we need to make a different version of it. That's why like the stuff I worked on for like Piccadilly Square in I'll give you a little bit of music while I talk. The stuff I worked on in Piccadilly Square for Modern Warfare, if you notice, it's not the Sanyo building. It's a different company that, we made up. Like, I made up, like, the Tanto brand, and we made a font that looks kind of similar to Sanyo, but, like, not Sanyo. And, we have to make those type of changes and make things up. We make up our own companies that don't exist because we can't use real companies. And, games that I've worked on, don't really place them in places like shrines or religious places that often. Like, there have been some churches and stuff in Call of Duty, but I do think some of the churches from Call of Duty, especially the World War II ones, were actual churches from World War II that were destroyed, and you're kind of fighting in the ruins of them. But yeah, let's see. I'm gonna make sure I can actually read this here now. If I say I'm watching. No, I don't think anybody's gonna be in trouble or get banned or anything. The best thing to do is to play the stuff yourself and then like make your own opinion. But the stuff online has been kind of crazy recently for this game. It really is kind of gone into a couple of different groups. There's like the group that thinks the game is just super racist, and there's Japanese people in that group, there's American people in that group. Definitely they've made some really bad choices in the marketing of this game, we'll say that. But I do think it is a little crazy to expect that the developer is going to reach out and actually call the Japanese temple and ask to put it in the game, because they probably don't even have staff that can speak to those people. So the better option is just don't put it in the game. Just make it a random shrine. Don't make it a specific shrine. If you're gonna do like items that are in a shrine, don't make them destructible. Just yeah, it will suspend disbelief a little bit when you do swing your sword if you're somebody who's trying to destroy this shit, and it just doesn't react, but it's probably not worth all the backlash that you're going to get online. Yeah, let's continue with this one here.
大串正樹経産副大臣にお越しいただいておりますが、国内外問わずゲームを楽しむユーザーというのは年々増加しておりますが、ゲーム等における固有施設の映像などをですね、無許可で使用することについてご見解をお伺いしたいと思います。
経済産業省大串副大臣。
Okay, what they blurred out there is basically just imagine a picture of Yasuke smashing and destroying items that are in a shrine, like an actual shrine, which is really, really sacred stuff that, don't make that destructible. If I was the art director on that map, and an artist below me came and showed me that, I would tell him, yeah, let's talk to legal. Let's turn it off for now. Let's not make it destructible. It's probably the easiest thing to do. It's better for performance. So yeah, turn it off and maybe check with legal, or don't check with legal. It's just probably not a good idea to do that. So yeah.
はい、お答えいたします。 一般的
I
な
wouldn't say
ゲー
I'm
ム制作に
neutral
お
as
きま
much. I'm
して、
just
現存
realistic.
する
Like
固有名詞等を商用利
game
用す
development
る
is
際には、その
chaotic.
知的
It's
財
very
産を有する
crazy.
個
People
人
don't
や
talk to each
団
other.
体
One
等に
hand
許
is
可を
not
得る必
talking
要が
to
ある
the
もの
other.
と
So
認
these
識をしてお
mistakes
ります。
happen, and
知的
it's
財産
human.
を無許諾で利用されているケースにおきましては、個別の事情によるものであるため、当事者間で協議されるものと承知をしております。その上で、神社側等から相談がございましたら、関係省庁と連携しつつ、適切に対応してまいりたいというふうに思います。
加田博之君。
ありがとうございます。今の答弁ありましたようにですね、やっぱり無許可で使用するということは本当にいけないことだと思いますし、本当にこのことについては
Sad Boy says it's so nice not to have these
注視していきたいと思っております。
issues in the USA.
それでですね、
Maybe you don't know
それ
the
に
USA
伴いま
that
し
I
て
know,
昨
but
今
it sounds
コ
like
ロナ禍の影
we
響
got
も薄
a
れまし
bunch
て、
going on back
観
home
光客
too.
が急回復しまして、各地でオーバーツーリズムによるさまざまな問題が生じております。中に神社の鳥居によじ登
Okay, now this is where I stopped the video earlier, because I decided I probably want to bring it into the program. This is where I think he gets really off topic here. Like, he starts bringing up the over tourism that's happening right now, and like, believe me, I mean, if you've watched one of my coffee talks before, you'll know that like I'm right on the same page as he is when it comes to the problems that we have right now of foreigners in Japan making a lot of problems and making Japanese people's life hard. But you know who it also makes life really hard? It makes foreigners' lives really hard, because we're automatically lumped in with that same group of the streamers that are doing stupid shit, you know, like Logan Paul and all these other people that have come over here, Johnny Somali, all those guys that have come here and done really bad shit. And then you have like normal people like me that like just want to live here and blend into the culture. We want to work here, we want to build a family here, and we're automatically looked at in that light. And like, it's been a thing that I brought up on this program many times before. Me and my girl, you know, we usually document most of like the places we go, like when we travel or like when we just go on dates and stuff. We want to have a video or something to remind us of what we did. So like, you know, if we're going to a movie, like we'll stand in front of the movie theater and we'll, you know, take a selfie together. We'll take some video of walking up to the movie theater or something like that. And these days you just really can't do that without a lot of people stopping and giving you dirty looks. You'll actually get staff telling you that you're not allowed to even show that type of stuff. You know, have a camera out. They'll go like this really big, really quick, and it is a huge problem right now. The bad foreigners in Japan, and this guy though, what I have a problem with is he's trying to connect the stuff that is happening with Assassin's Creed Shadows and trying to say that the shrine breaking and the cultural mistakes that have been made with the promotion of that game, which are very real. They are problems, and totally Ubisoft fucked up on it and got it wrong. But he's trying to connect that and saying that now, because people are able to break shrines in Assassin's Creed Shadows, that they're going to go to the actual shrines and they're going to start busting up the shrines and writing graffiti and stuff. It's ridiculous. I don't think those two arguments are the same argument. I agree that definitely you should not be doing some stuff. You know, I went to a temple. We went to Katsuoji, about a month ago or so. And sure enough, I did see, I don't know if it was a foreigner or not, because, you know, just from afar, they could have been Japanese, they could have been Chinese, I'm not sure. But I did see one guy. It's a place they have those daruma, the little faces, and you're allowed to put your daruma somewhere and put your wishes on it. And this guy, he decided that he was going to try to climb up and try to put it up somewhere high. And like, I saw that, and the first thing I did was like, you know, turn to Yuki and say, these are the bad foreigners, or, you know, that one might have been Japanese, but these are the people that are making problems and making it so we can't even pull out our camera and take a picture without getting looks here right now. And having this guy try to push this is like, oh, this is, you know, people are going to play video games. This is just the same argument that's always been. It's the, oh, you play Grand Theft Auto, so that means you're going to go shoot up a police station, or, you know, you play Doom or Call of Duty, so that means you're going to go shoot up a school. It's just the same argument that playing video games equals violence when that the evidence just does not show that. So I have to kind of mentally
思っ
check
たり
out
です
when
ね、
he
神
starts
社
on
の
this.
石中へ落書きするなど観光客の迷惑行為は観光公害ともいえる事態であります。私は当該のゲーム機の中で、NPC、ノンプレイヤーキャラクターというものに対して
Yeah, your
対して
your
とか
friends
です
got
ね、
really lucky
承
that
諾され
the
た
police didn't show up on
承
climbing
諾
that
な
castle.
く
I'll
使用さ
tell
れ
you.
た施設の映像の中で攻撃や破壊する行為が現実世界で模倣される迷惑行為につながる。
Yeah, I mean, like, I know people do that stuff, and I have friends that have done a lot of stupid shit too, and like I've done my share of stupid shit when I was back in America, and people do stuff, and when they're doing it, they don't really think about the ramifications of what happens. But with the whole streaming thing, we have enough evidence now, I would say. Like, just look at the whole Johnny Somali thing. If you're not familiar with him, check out that dude's history and what he did in Japan. And now he's being like, I think he's having the book thrown at him in South Korea. He's in a lot of trouble. He's going to be doing a lot of jail time. There's enough evidence out there to just, let's not do that stuff. It's just not a good idea. And back in the day, I even a year or two ago, I could take my camera out and I'd film wherever I wanted to film. We never did like YouTubing type stuff. We were just taking like footage where we were either talking just between the two of us or we were just taking silent footage, and I never got dirty looks for it. It was never an issue, and it totally is an issue now. Yeah, it's like bad behavior on both sides, really.
先ほどの
in a lot of
神社
ways.
の宮司さんや関係者の皆様もそれを心配されておりました。もちろんですけど、これ申し上げたいのは表現の自由というものはもちろん尊重されなければいけません。
Totally agree.
だが一方でですね、長い間地域の方々に培われた文化に対しまして敬意を持って接する、その土地の文化を軽んじる行為は私は慎むということは大事なことだと。
I think he can go a step farther and say we don't need to be cautious. We need to tell those people to get the fuck out of Japan. Seriously, like, you're not helping. If you're gonna come here and do stupid shit, we're the ones that have to live here and deal with all the side eyes and and like Sad Boy was saying in the chat, like it's kind of like there's a little bit of racism mixed in there, but like there's people that maybe they've got not such a great view on foreigners already, and then they see some dude climbing the castle or whatever, and then that just proves exactly what they think, and it just cements them into that side even more. So like when you're in another culture, you got to be on your best behavior, and up until this point he's being reasonable, but from
考
here
えてお
is
りま
where
す。
it kind of
例えばですけど長年経緯やですね信仰されてきたフランスのノートルダム大聖堂とかですねイスラム教のコーランなどにですね
I wonder if he knows that like we've already climbed all over the Notre Dame Cathedral in Assassin's Creed Unity. Like, I will say, like, as bad as Ubisoft might have messed up this whole Assassin's Creed Shadows thing and letting them destroy shrines and stuff like that, they did let you destroy a lot of crap in France too. I climbed all over the Notre Dame Cathedral in Assassin's Creed Unity, and I was being a virtual tourist in a video game. It's not a big deal. Now, if I was out there in real life climbing it, that's gonna be a problem. But I will say that they're kind of across the board. They've done a lot of crazy stuff, like the American Revolution ones. They had like one I think the first or second DLC, like the bad guy. It was like an alternate timeline thing, and the bad guy of the expansion was George Washington, and it was like, I think it was like King George Washington for one of the expansions. So it's not, I don't think anything Ubisoft has messed up in this. It's not like some people are trying to frame it as like an attack from Ubisoft on that culture. It's just people handling stuff in a crappy way and not doing all the checks they needed to do, not making sure the right people got in front of things to translate things correctly. It's not out of spite. It's not like ill-willed. That doesn't make it okay, but it does mean, you need to accept that there is going to be some part of human error. And like, of course, if something is found, there need to be steps to change it. And I think probably that's what's going to be I'm interested what the patches and stuff are going to be
を
like
視する
going
ようなで
forward
す
now
ね、
that all these
映
issues
像
have
を
come
使われ
out.
ていたらどんな気持ちにその現地の人たちはなるか、これはもう言わずがもがなでございます。ゲーム SNS 等によりまして多文化を軽んじる行為やそれに伴う観光公害についてご所見をお伺いしたいと思います。
柴内閣総理大臣。
Yeah, every day on the news over here, we've got
これを法的にどうするかということにつきましては、経産省あるいは文科
just so you guys know, this is like the top guy in Japan. This is like basically like the president of Japan talking here. So this has gotten to a really high level now. Great to see this from a game dev point of view. Quit my job as a permanent teacher and spending a year making an indie game. Nice. So you're a game dev with me. I hope you're faring better in the industry than I am. It's a tough time to be in the industry. I don't know if it went live. I think I set it to go live about the time where it might have just gone live a couple minutes ago, but I made a video about a month back of why NetEase was a horrible place to work and the crap that they did to Marvel Rivals, laying off that whole team after they just pushed out such a good performing game. But yeah, I did a talk on that about a month ago, and it probably just went live a couple minutes ago. So you have to check that out. But yeah, there's a lot going on. I don't really hold back my opinion, so I'll be here as long as they let me.
科省あるいは外務省とよく協議をしてまいりたいと思っておりますが、神社に落書きするなんぞというのはもってのほかの話であってです、それはもうその国に対する侮辱に他ならないと私は思っているところでございます。で自衛隊をイラク・サマーワに出しますときに、もちろんイスラム教を信じるとかそういう話ではありませんが、イスラム教のしきたりとかそういうものは現地に派遣される自衛官たちにきちんと習得していくようにという。
Actually, I actually switched my stuff. So you can see my portfolio here at ArtStation. Just go to artstation.com, kdbolt. You can see all my stuff here, all the different games that I've worked on. But yeah, that's that one right there. Not much to show on that because everything is still NDA and it's under it hasn't come out yet, but I went pretty heavy into what it was like to work at NetEase here. It was horrible. Don't work for NetEase, I'll say that.
お願いをいたしました。例えば料理を全部食べちゃわないといけないって、日本ではみんな食べないと申し訳ないみたいなことがありますが、じゃあかの国では全部食べちゃうと足りなかったという生じになってなんと失礼なということになるとかですね、尊敬の念を持つということ。
Yeah, and what he's saying is true. Like Japanese people they are very courteous and they go to great lengths to try to adapt to other people's cultures. But, I mean, it's the same. There's good apples, there's bad apples. I know plenty of Japanese people that have not really adapted well in America. I was on a Japanese baseball team in San Diego. So I had a whole team of friends that different levels of adaptation. Some people only surrounded themselves with Japanese people in America. Some people kind of branched out and had a lot of American friends. But I would say as cultures go, they do try really hard to adapt to other people's cultures. They don't always get it right. They mess up just like we do. But the stuff I've been seeing in Japan recently from foreigners, I would be really surprised to see Japanese people behaving that way in the States. It's the level of there's a video out there of a dude that's like like full dance moves on the train, bothering like high school students. There's like a dude surfing on doing crowd surfing within a train. Like, it's just crazy stuff. It's like, it's all for the clicks and stuff, but that
こと
doesn't
は
make it
私
okay.
は当然のことだと思っておりますし、そうでなければ外交というのもできないと思っております。まず我が国としてそういうことを率先垂範していかねばなりませんし、仮にもそういう
Yeah,
行為
Saboy, what you're
オーバー
saying
ツーリ
is
ズムもそうです
one of
が、
the things
そういうことがあ
that
ったら
I
泣き
kind
寝入りは
of
しないと。
was
日本
initially kind of like put down on Assassin's Creed Shadows for, because like when I saw the stuff of like Yasuke running through town, beheading villagers with no repercussions at all, and just like, you know, literally like home run a lady's head like over a fence, and nothing happened. It was like, okay, for one, no foreigner is getting away with that in Japan. Two, no Japanese samurai would probably get away with that in Japan. There would be rules, there would be things, but you know, hey, it's an open world game. Depends on what type of freedoms you're going to give the player, and some decisions do need to be made at a high level on that. And if you make the wrong call, then you're going to be in some cultural hot water, which it looks like they've kind of got themselves in. I'll be curious to see though if the final game has that stuff in still, because those were early builds. I've got the American version of the game installed. And this from here, they just basically talk about how, what are we going to do about it, and who are they going to talk to try to track this down. So I do think this is going to be an ongoing conversation with the Japanese government and Ubisoft. Probably Ubisoft Osaka is happy that they don't exist anymore, because Ubisoft Osaka, where I was, did go out of business a couple months ago. Everybody lost their jobs there. As I said at the beginning of this program, our only involvement in Assassin's Creed Shadows was we had 2 or 3 people that I know of that did a little bit of concept art for it, and that was it. Which is probably a problem, because like we had a full Japanese staff there. You know, like we had probably I'd say upwards of 50 or 60 Japanese people on staff. It was a pretty international place, but you know, it's mostly Japanese people working there. If you're gonna make a game on Japan, you've got us using the same engines. You know, we were using Snowdrop. Because we were doing Xdefiant, we were also using Anvil. So we had people that could have helped out on Assassin's Creed Shadows, but they didn't take the help. I guess we were also pretty busy with Xdefiant, but yeah, we had a couple people that did a little bit of concept art for just like hairstyles for Japanese peasants and things like that, but not very much involvement at all, unless that changed after I left a couple years ago. But from my friends that I've talked to, we really weren't consulted much. We weren't in the conversation, so it is a shame. It's a missed opportunity. Part of me hoped that when I moved to Japan to work for Ubisoft Osaka, maybe someday we would get to work on an Assassin's Creed game. So I was busy working on the Assassin's Creed Odyssey stuff for Xdefiant when the Assassin's Creed Shadows stuff was internally announced. But yeah, I was kind of shocked that we weren't given a bigger role in that, because like I think we had a lot to offer. Like, if nothing else, like have us take a look at all the signs and stuff, you know. Obviously, as the art director, I would not have set myself as the person for that, because I'm a foreigner, I'm an outsider. I would have chosen one of my Japanese staff that I could trust, and I would ask him, hey, can you go through all of this signage and look for anything that looks off? If there's anything that puts up a red flag, let's just catch it now. Once we do all that, then after that we send that to legal has their go through it, which, you know, I have no idea what that looks like because I'm not a lawyer, but legal checks are crazy. Like, you know, I've had stuff for my games that have been sent to legal before, because, you know, we have to make legal checks, and just things like one example that I brought up before is there's some crates that I did for I can actually show you right here because I have this right up right now. Here, let me pull up this. Yeah, these ones actually got hit by legal for Advanced Warfare. Where is it? Yeah, these guys right here. These little baskets here. Yeah, these Lagos Fizz ones. Let's see if we have a better picture. No, it's as good as we got. But Anyways, this was an early version of them when they were still red. When they got to the game, they had to have their color changed just because having red is too close to Coca-Cola, and they were afraid that we were going to get sued. There is a ton of checks that go in. These are early shots here, so there's probably some stuff in here that after it went through legal, it probably got changed a little bit. You know, we have stuff totally removed sometimes. It's just how it is, you know, there's legal checks and they're there for a reason. I know that one thing we couldn't make I made a Korea level here, and luckily I had a Korean artist on staff. This time I was just a prop artist and working in a level, but I had the Korean artist basically give us all the Korean writing for it. This is based off of a real street in Korea, and the real street, they do have a Japanese izakaya upstairs, so it's a little confusing. It's something that I brought up. I thought it was kind of weird because like we're doing an area in Korea for Call of Duty. Are people going to be confused that we're placing Korean text right next to Japanese text? When sure, in the Google image, that is exactly how it is. There's a lot of Japanese restaurants in Korea, but I just was worried that like it's going to make people think that we don't know what we're talking about and we didn't know the difference between Korean and Japanese. They decided to go forward with it, so that's how it is. But you know, those are the type of checks, like those type of checks that I myself, as a lowly environment artist at the time, I wasn't even senior yet at the time, I have to bring things like that up as like, hey, I have a little bit of knowledge about, you know, Japan because I've lived there before, like maybe we should not do this. And those type of checks, they're very important. I'm guessing not enough of those happened during Assassin's Creed Shadows, but yeah, we're gonna take a look at it today. Probably gonna take probably about like a 15-minute break or so to get some water, and I need to make sure that I can log in because there's I heard that there's some new Ubisoft like Assassin's Creed hub or something that you have to get into, and there might be some like actual like I need to put my account info in for my Ubisoft login, which I hope I can remember that. That might be a pain. I'm going to be playing on PS5. I'm going to be playing the unedited version because the Japanese version, they've completely removed amputations for the Japanese version. I did some research into it, and even if the method that I usually do is I switch to my Japanese login for PS5, I purchase the game in Japan, then I switch back to my US profile and the game is still installed, so then I go in English. If I would do it that way this time, it's going to still have everything censored and no amputations and stuff. And I don't know, just like my own personal preference, if I'm going to be playing a samurai game and I'm going to swing a samurai sword at people's heads, I would expect probably that head is going to go flying like a samurai movie it would or something. So it is a little graphic though, I will say. It's almost on Mortal Kombat levels. It does look a little overdone maybe, but I don't know. I'll hold my judgment until I see it. But I wanted to play the American version. I didn't really want to have mine censored. So if it gets too much, I can always turn it off. But yeah, we'll see. Let's see. Let's check out the comments here. Oh, you worked in Osaka too. Which part? So on Marvel. Oh, you play Marvel Rivals. Okay. Yeah, you know, I had to make the choice to not play Marvel Rivals, and that's just because NetEase did me so dirty. Watch episode 24 of Coffee Chat, which is this one. When it goes on YouTube, this will be episode 25. We took about a month break in the middle because I was doing some interviewing and doing our taxes, and we got into a bunch of stuff. But yeah, check out that one. You'll see why I don't play Marvel Rivals, but. I feel so sorry for that team that got laid off there. That was the one team that I thought was safe within NetEase, and they all got let go. So just a horrible situation. I really would like to play the game though, because I'm a huge Marvel fan. Like I've watched all of the MCU. We're talking every side quest, every single animation, everything. Right before Endgame, I actually rewatched the whole timeline. Netflix stuff included, over the course of about a week to see Endgame, So I'm really into Marvel, and I would love to play a game like Marvel Rivals, but I think just seeing that NetEase splash screen would probably make me sick right now. So still a little too fresh for me, so I'll let other people enjoy it. But yeah, try to support those developers that got let go, because I know a lot of them I still see a lot of them popping up on my LinkedIn feed. A lot of people looking for work still. Yeah. See, yeah, any Japanese stuff would be immediately spotted in Square Tatami and Samurai sitting and resize. Yeah, totally. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff, and like that's the thing too, is like you need to make it a team effort, because nobody's perfect. Like I would never try to like I don't want to be in the position of like having to make that final call of whether something's okay or not. Like it's kind of convenient to be in the artist position where you can just do your best to work within the rules, make something that people enjoy and not offend people, but then, you know, also have the option to send it upstairs, you know. And as much as we hate that legal step, because it is a shitty step, because like a lot of times it slows you down and you have to wait for legal approval before you even start something, you know. Like if you're going to work on, if you've got a great idea for a new area and you want to put it in a situation like, you know, there's a lot of maps that are in things where, you know, we've got churches near the map, you know. If you want to make it, the Division was one that we had one map that was set partially in a church, and we were halted on that one for a while because we just weren't even sure if we were allowed to put a church in the game. The church was in the Division itself, so we thought we were probably okay because we could just use that same spot as kind of a prototype of, yeah, this will go through legal. But even there, we did send it to legal. It took them probably about 2 or 3 weeks to get back to us on whether we could go forward or not. But it is nice to be able to have the ability to kind of just say, hey, I'm taking responsibility away from myself and gonna send it upstairs. Is this okay to do? But yeah, you have to have an effective upstairs if that's gonna work well. We can't exactly say Ubisoft has been functioning very well in the last couple years here with their stock plummeting and Ubisoft Osaka closing. It is a shame. I am forever grateful to Ubisoft for bringing me to Japan. Bringing me to Japan here has been, you know, a huge change in my life. I've been here for 5 years now. I lived here when I was 21 to 25, but it's really this time that I've integrated with Japanese culture. I met, you know, my fiance Yuki. You know, I wouldn't be with her without Ubisoft. So forever grateful to them for bringing me here. But at the same time, like, come on, guys, you can do better than this. Like, can we not tank all these cool franchises? Because they do have a lot of franchises that I like. I like cool open worlds that have a lot of places to explore. So hopefully with Assassin's Creed Shadows, you know, the reviews are far better than I thought they would be. With all the trouble that's been around Assassin's Creed Shadows, I really expected it to get bombed, and I probably would have put it in the backlog for later, but because the reviews have been so positive, because I am here in Japan, and I'm just really curious on what got into the final game. We are going to make it a game on our channel here, so I spent most of yesterday preparing a setup for it. Let's see if I can do this on the fly here without ruining it. Recently, OBS has been really good and not crashing on me, but yeah, you know what? I'm not gonna do it here. If I switch to my Assassin's Creed OBS scene, I'm afraid it might tank. So in about 30 minutes or so, we'll go live with Assassin's Creed, and you can see the new overlays and stuff that I did for that. My channel is mainly a World of Warcraft channel because that's what I'm into, that's what I play every single day, but I also do a lot of other games too, so I kind of mix it up. Usually daytime, I play, like currently I've been going through Avowed, I've been doing Hogwarts Legacy because I never finished that one. I do some random games that are like aren't popular with anybody but me, like Disney Speedstorm, just because I like Disney so much. Yeah, I do quite a few different games here, and it looks like we're gonna be mixing Assassin's Creed Shadows in with that. So yeah, hopefully it's a good game. I already picked it up, so I don't want to get cheated. I don't get these ones for free. I do have a I've got a super special code that was put into my Steam when I worked at Activision, and it's a lifetime code. Well, currently it's lifetime. I was told that it's a lifetime one, and it's been in existence for over 10 years now, but I got a special key put into my Steam account, my personal Steam account, where everything that Activision publishes, I get into my Steam library for free, and it's still working, but I don't have that with Ubisoft, so yeah, I actually have to pick them up too, so hopefully it's not a crappy game, but yeah, I guess we'll find out together though. It is still kind of rough outside right now. I've been seeing some wind out there. The pollen count is just insane. For any of you who missed it, that's why I'm wearing the glasses right now. These are pollen glasses to try to keep the pollen out of my eye. They have like little sides and stuff. I don't have bad eyesight. This is all just to keep my eyes from watering here. So I'm probably going to keep these on for most of the day. They do get a little annoying though, because I'm not used to wearing glasses, so I might try pulling them off while I'm playing Assassin's Creed, and if my eyes start watering up, then yeah, we're going to be back to glasses again. But yeah, I hope you guys all tune in. The live stream will just stay up. I'm going to keep the live stream going. It takes a lot of time to set that back up. Oh, sorry, this one, I'm new to Twitch. See, that's not saying use you. Yeah, Japanese stuff, it'd be amazing. Yeah. Okay, sorry, it had the same stuff on there. Near Kyobashi, yeah. Yeah, thanks for all the chat. No. Random talking is what we do here. So usually I'm doing streams and stuff where, same thing, we never really have a format. We go, anytime we want to get off track, we get off track. We take a lot of, like every game we play, especially being an artist, I'm the guy that stares at the walls and looks at, how things were put together. It's probably infuriating for some people that just want me to hurry up and get through the game, but that's just not the kind of channel I do. So I don't mind getting off topic. Nothing's ever off topic. So, and even more so, the coffee chat is a place where, ideally we have chat with the viewers here, and we can ask and answer questions and things like that too. So yeah, anytime you guys want to stop by, we will get back into a regular habit of it. As I said, it's been on pause because I had such a big backload. I originally shot 24 episodes in pretty quick succession. Basically every day I'd take another one, but I wasn't uploading them to YouTube, so I ended up with a backlog of about 15 episodes or so. So I decided to kind of focus on the interviews, focus on taxes, focus on some of the other series I'm doing, and we'll just every day upload the back episodes. And today we finally got caught up. I kind of cheated today because it should have been tomorrow. I put the very last episode that I filmed, the episode 24, that would have been February 17th, or February 19th actually, is when I filmed that. That one just went up to YouTube probably a couple minutes ago. So now we're on a cadence of I'll record it here, and then the same day it'll be up on YouTube. So please, anybody who's watching on Twitch, the most energy I'm putting into YouTube. So please go to the YouTube channel. I can pull it up here for you just so it's easy to see, but yeah, Game Dev Peon. It's on YouTube. I have links in my Twitch if you just want to click on those. But yeah, I've got, I think right now we're at 121 videos. Not too bad for not even being at 2 months as a streamer yet. Quite a few series we've got going on. These are all the different playlists. A lot of World of Warcraft series, but we also have some other ones. Like I did a little bit of Monster Hunter. Still haven't really gotten hooked too much in Monster Hunter. Been doing Hogwarts Legacy. We've got probably about 8 hours or so of that up. Avowed, I've got a pretty big backlog of Avowed too. So a lot of different stuff you can watch. A lot of different live streams. We have all the live streams also in an archive here. So feel free to tune in. Please drop a subscribe, turn on notifications. It does help me out quite a bit. My goal is to get to 1,000 subscribers so I can get monetized on YouTube, because as we talked about, the game industry is kind of hell right now, and everybody needs a side hustle. So YouTube hopefully will be my side hustle. Haven't really gotten a handle on Twitch yet. I still have a real hard time people finding my streams, so it's probably gonna go YouTube, and once I have a community on YouTube I can bring them to Twitch more. But yeah, there is still I do have the Prime version of Twitch too, so all my episodes do stay up for 2 months, so you can go watch the backlog on there too, but they will disappear after 60 days. So that's why I like YouTube, because it's all there. All that hard work doesn't disappear, and yeah, that is where I'm putting the energy. Watch hours, we're doing really good. I think I'm almost getting close to 1,000 watch hours already in 2 months, so I need to get to 4,000, so I think we're on track for that. But subscribes do help, so yeah, I'm gonna take a little bit of a break for about 10-15 minutes, and then we'll be up playing some Assassin's Creed Shadows. Hopefully it's good, because I like Assassin's Creed. I like Japan. What could go wrong? Quite a bit, it turns out. Quite a bit indeed. Enough that we're in the parliament right now. So yeah, thanks everyone for stopping by. The live stream will continue, so if you want to just hang out, feel free to hang out, and I'll just keep on streaming Shadows from here. I am just going to make a cut. You will have to watch my opening roll for Assassin's Creed Shadows when I jump into that, because I do cut it up for YouTube videos. But yeah, thanks for stopping by. This has been Coffee Chat. It feels good to be back. We'll be doing them daily again, at least on the weekdays. Probably weekends get pretty hectic, and there's not as much news on the weekend anyways. So yeah, we'll see what we can find tomorrow for this show. But yeah, thanks for stopping by. Have a good one, everybody. Oh, hey, what's up, Ian? Just barely missed you there. Yeah, hey, fall asleep, man. Sleep is more important than anything that I'm doing. But yeah, it'll be on the VOD and on Twitch, and I'm gonna put this one up on YouTube today, so you can catch it after you wake up, man. Don't worry about it. Thanks for stopping by, though. All right, guys, have a good one. I will be back in about 15 with some Assassin's Creed Shadows. Have a good day.